Lindsay, lots of commotion around Juan Pablo Montoya making his first NASCAR start here in the Busch Series at Memphis, but he's been here before. He came and tested a Nextel Cup car here, and once he got back here with his Busch car, it only took him 7 laps yesterday to get quicker than he'd ever gone here in the Cup car. As far as braking goes, he said that shouldn't be a big issue for him here, even though in Formula One, the drivers tend to run it to the very last brake marker, stop on the pedal, and then turn the car in. He says, I've never been hard on brakes. I'm usually very easy on my braking, and that has allowed him, Alan, to adjust to the braking of these Busch Series cars.
I don't know if there's ever been a driver who's made his NASCAR debut under more expectations than Juan Pablo Montoya.
No, I think you're right, Alan. I mean, here's a guy that's an Indy 500 winner. He's run Formula One, won a lot of IndyCar races, and now he's in the Busch Series. And the guy's got talent. There's no question about that. But this is a different ballgame. In Formula One, the race cars are the stars. I mean, whatever you have there is, there's 1 or 2 teams you need to be driving for to win races.
Yeah.
You've got a lot of good teams here. You've got a lot of really good drivers in NASCAR. So it's going to be a little bit different for him. But he's with a very good team. Chip Ganassi is going to put the best equipment that he can put under him. He's going to give him every opportunity he can. So he's going to have a good shot just having great equipment.
You saw the Cup guys dropping to the tail end of the field. We'll watch them try and come through the traffic. Johnny Sauter 00, Jason Keller 66 on the front row. 250 laps in Memphis, about to get underway. Montoya slow to get away in the 42.
Yeah, he didn't get a very good start there. He's down on the inside right now of Kenny Wallace. That's really a good place to be.
Down to the bottom.
Down on the bottom.
Yeah.
What's going on with Mr. Montoya there, Ralph?
Oh, Wally, you guys are talking about the lack of green flag laps. Last year we only had 36 straight green flag laps at a time, which is not a whole lot. I talked to Brad Parrott, crew chief for Juan Pablo Montoya, just before we went green today, and he said the biggest thing that Juan does really good is run long distances. But the fact that they've only got 36 in last year, he's hoping they get a lot more than that today.
Montoya running in 6th place right now. Montoya making a move.
Montoya's going to take that 5th spot away.
And that's from Willie Allen, driver in the 14 car, track champion at the Music City Motorplex.
It's easier for you to say.
I rehearsed that all night too.
And this is a good place for Montoya to be. I mean, he's up front. It's single filed out. He's around good cars. This is a good opportunity to get some experience and not being, back in the pack right now where these guys are racing side by side and a little bit crazy back there sometimes.
So Montoya to 5th.
There's Montoya right behind a bunch of traffic.
That's a race for 3rd, 4th, and 5th. Just ahead of him, 88 Shane Huffman in 3rd, 22 Kenny Wallace in 4th. And then Montoya in the 42 in 5th. I talked with Juan Pablo yesterday and asked him what would be a good day at Memphis for you today.
If I can stay in the lead lap and do the pit stops, stop in the marks, and go through the process, if I can race people cleanly, and if I can get, if I can finish in the lead lap, I'll be more than happy.
That's a good goal. I mean, because these pit stops are nothing like he's used to.
Yeah.
I mean, not even close. It's like stepping back in time 25 years compared to, a Formula One pit stop.
Yeah, if you're not familiar with Formula One racing, where Montoya has come from, they'll have about 50 guys around the car, and it takes for about 8 seconds to change 4 tires and refuel the thing with this pressurized fueling rig and all that. It's a little different on pit road here in NASCAR land, huh, Ralph?
It is, Alan, and one of the things we're hearing from all the teams is tight in the center, loose off, and there's 2 reasons for that. One, we're now 41 laps into this race. Remember, last year we only went 36 laps, our longest green flag run. So these guys are building up a little bit of heat in the right front tire, and Wally, as you know, that's where you start to see that car pushing a little bit, and that's what they're struggling to balance. Plus, it's also the hottest it's been all weekend right now here in Memphis.
Yeah, what's happening, the cars are pushing, so they're putting a lot of steering wheel into the car, and the car won't turn. So if the car doesn't turn, you put more and more wheel in it. Well, when you're coming off the corner and the rear of the car finally catches up with it, that's when the cars get loose getting off, because you have so much wheel turned into it as you're getting off the corner. So, yeah, there'll be a lot of wrenches flying on these first pit stops as far as, trying to loosen these cars up a little bit.
And right behind Leffler, rather, is Montoya. And guys, I have to tell you, his crew has basically been babying Montoya all race long. They've been saying after restarts, when we say green, we mean go. They're taking their time. They're really working on communication with Montoya. Alan and Wally?
It's a lot to learn.
Yeah, there is a lot to learn.
And I'd be curious to see what he says about his pit stops afterwards. Remember he talked about getting used to making pit stops this way, so many cars on pit road at once, that kind of thing. Be curious to get his feedback later about what that was like and what he feels like he can do better there or needs to learn there. So far, all the fenders are in one piece. Montoya runs 10th. So pace car out in front of the field. Don't expect to see any pit stops from the leaders under this caution. Been talking a lot about Juan Pablo Montoya running back in 10th place, making his NASCAR racing debut. Star-studded career for this young man. Came up through the open wheel ranks, was the CART Open Wheel Series champion in '99, the Indy 500 winner in 2000, then headed off to Europe to the Formula One World Championship circuit. 7 wins, including a win at Monaco. Decided this past July he was coming NASCAR racing. Made his stock car debut with a 3rd place finish at Talladega Superspeedway in October. Ran an ARCA race at Iowa Speedway a couple of weeks ago. And now here he is in his NASCAR debut at Memphis.
Looks like he's got a little damage here in the right front since we saw him last.
Yep. That'll hurt a little bit. So Montoya running back in, again, 10th place for now.
Oh, Montoya goes around. He may have gotten a little bit of help.
Ooh, wow.
I think the 66 of Jason Keller may have got into the bumper of Montoya. Now Montoya's got a little bit of damage here in the left rear.
Caution out once again. That'll be number 9. Let's see. Oh, yeah. That was a race for 10th position. That went bad. Montoya has brought a little international flavor to the grandstands here in Memphis. Colombian flags in display.
You can get those anywhere here in Memphis.
So we'll check on the 42 car, see if he picked up any major damage. Doesn't look like it, though. Under yellow here in Memphis. All right, any damage to Montoya's car in that little spin around, Lindsay?
Yeah, a bit of damage. They just brought him in and pulled out the fender a bit. They gave him right sides, going to bring him back around and give him left side tires. But Montoya is an example of professionalism right now, because he came over his radio. His crew chief first spoke to him and said, man, the 66 got into us. Montoya said, you know what? No, completely all my fault. How's that?
Well, it looks like he turned down over. The 60 Montoya left the hole open down on the bottom. The 66 car went down in there, stuck his nose, and Montoya just drove down over the nose of Jason Keller.
Well, Juan Pablo's going to get another NASCAR lesson here.
Was he speeding? I thought he looked like he was going a little too fast when he left.
Don't have that little button on the steering wheel that you push with the electronics. So, lead change. How about Juan Pablo Montoya? Where's he at?
He is in 16th, but he's doing a good job. I've been keeping an eye out on him, and he's been picking his way through traffic, keeping his nose clean. He's learning a lot.
Fell back as far as 29th with his spin at lap 155. A lot of cautions, not a lot of green flag racing to make up spots, but Montoya trying to pass Justin Labonte here for 15th spot. And got it. Talked with Juan Pablo yesterday about the biggest difference between the cars he's been racing and the cars he's racing now from the driver's seat. What he has to learn the most behind the wheel to adapt to this form of racing. Here's what he said.
There's a lot of things that are easier than I thought, and some things that I thought were going to be really easy, and they're really hard. It's like balancing the car is really hard. In open wheel, to balance the car, is not as difficult. You know, going fast in an open wheel is a little bit harder. Here, going fast is not as hard as getting a good balance.
Just a couple of the things that Juan Pablo Montoya is focused on and dealing with. You know, one of the things I was most impressed with, though, Wally, he came into the press room yesterday after the end of practice here in Memphis and met with the members of the media and had a pretty wide-ranging discussion, a very frank discussion. And he said, I'm having fun. He said, this is a blast. He said, I want to win. I don't want to embarrass myself, but I want to have fun. I like to race. Getting out there and seeing how far you can push a car to its edge and whether you can control it or not. He said, that's the fun of racing. And he said, I'm just having fun with this.
Well, I mean, the difference is you've got a guy that's, you know, won the championships in IndyCar, won the Indy 500, won Formula 1. He's not doing this for the money. He's got all the money he needs. In fact, I wish he'd give me some. But, you know, the thing about it is, this is a guy that's not worried about his job, so to speak. He is here having fun. He's proved all these other things. He's proved that he's a great open wheel driver, and now he's getting hooked up with one of the best teams in the business. And absolutely, this is a totally different mindset or agenda than some of these other guys racing here. Ralph?
You know, Wally, I was speaking to Brad Parrott, who's crew chiefing Juan Pablo this weekend, and I asked him, what was the biggest surprise that you found when setting up the car for Juan? And he said, I was amazed at how quickly I could start bringing up the race car for him. He said, in fact, I probably need to go farther to the free side of the setup for the machine to get Juan really as quick as he needs to go. And then I was talking to Chip Ganassi earlier today, Alan, he said the biggest thing for him was that in reality, it was Juan who had to talk Chip into doing this more than Chip talking Juan into it, because Chip wasn't so sure that they'd be able to get Juan free of his McLaren contract early enough. They thought it wasn't going to be until the middle of October, and they didn't think they'd have enough time to get him up to speed before Daytona, the 2007 season. Now that they're underway, there's even an outside possibility, if everything goes right, he could be in a Cup car in the season finale at Homestead.
Yeah. And, you know, I found him to be very cordial and you know, having a good time, very aware of what's going on in NASCAR racing, you know, has been following the sport a lot and knows what's going on.
But when he gets to that next level in Homestead, it's going to be a lot tougher.
Montoya running 14th.